Donald Trump's rising feud with Emmanuel Macron took a new turn on Sunday as the French leader forcefully denounced nations looking after their own interests and decried nationalist policies like the ones the American president has embraced. Macron specifically referred to the selfishness of nations only looking after their own interests in remarks at an Armistice Day event in Paris that Trump and other world leaders attended. Patriotism is the exact opposite of nationalism. Nationalism is a betrayal of patriotism. By saying our interests first, who cares about the others, we erase what a nation holds dearest, what gives it life, what gives it grace. And what is essential, its moral values, he said in an English-language translation of the speech he delivered with Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin sitting in the front row. Trump and Macron have been sparring over comments that Macron made last week about his desire to form a European army. The US president said in a stinging tweet that Macron's comments were very insulting as he landed in Paris on Friday evening with the First Lady. The leaders later attended a luncheon at Élysée Palace with other heads of state as part of a program that Macron is hosting in France this weekend commemorating the cessation of hostilities in World War I. Donald and Melania Trump skipped an arrival ceremony at the residence of the French president earlier in the day and did not walk down the Champs-Élysées with fellow leaders traveling to the Arc de Triomphe in the U.S. president's bulletproof limousine. Instead, they remained inside the car and out of the rain until after visiting leaders and Macron lined up under a covered seating area. President Trump greeted President Macron again, having already sat down with him at Élysée and across from him at a dinner for dignitaries that took place on Saturday, and took his place nearby in the front row of a riser below the arc. The US president's grand entry was then upstaged arrival of Russia's Putin, who shook Trump's hand and gave him a thumbs up before taking his own seat to Macron's left. Trump was seated two down from Macron, next to Germany's Angela Merkel. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders told Daily Mail. In response to inquiry about the delayed arrival and the possibility that Trump was meeting with Putin during the time that he was missing in action, that he was abiding by protocol. Due to security protocols, the president arrived separately, she said, without commenting on the possibility that he was talking privately with the Russian leader. Putin upstaged Trump by arriving at the ceremony last, after the American president and his wife had entered, and Macron and other world leaders came together on buses. As President Trump was arriving at the unity ceremony in Paris on Sunday, a topless woman bearing the messages "Fake and Peace" on her chest threw herself at the president's motorcade as it pulled up to the Arc de Triomphe in protest. Two other women also tried to approach the president and were stopped by security guards. Several minutes later, he and Melania arrived under separate umbrellas, the president in a blue coat and red tie and the First Lady in a gray dress and matching overcoat. The leaders participated in a centennial celebration of Armistice Day, honored in Europe annually on November 11. The holiday is marked by Veterans Day in America. Bells tolled in Paris in remembrance of the cessation of fighting at 11 o'clock in the morning on November 11, 1918 in Compiègne, France. The United States entered the war on April 6, 1917 in response to a declaration of war request against Germany from President Woodrow Wilson. A year and a half later, the war ended, but Europe was again thrown into chaos 2 decades later with World War II, when America also fought alongside France. The two sides have become close allies, and Macron and German Chancellor Angela Merkel entered the ceremony in Paris as part of a united front after participating in a commemorative event alongside one another the day before. In remarks that were broadcast in French and translated to English, Macron took a shot at Trump's self-proclaimed nationalism. Patriotism is the exact opposite of nationalism. Nationalism is a betrayal of patriotism, he said in the American president's presence. As Trump was arriving in France, they fought over Macron's proposal to draft a European army. Trump said the comment is very insulting and ignored the United States' generous contributions to Europe's defense via the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. They proclaimed themselves to be very good friends at a one-on-one meeting on Saturday, even as Trump's body language told a different story. "You know what my attitude has been, and we want a strong Europe. It's very important to us to have a strong Europe. And whichever way we can do it the best and most efficient would be something that we both want," he said. President Trump will visit Suresnes American Cemetery and Memorial this afternoon, where he will deliver traditional Veterans Day remarks. He is scheduled to depart for the United States in the early evening, arriving back at the White House late Sunday evening. Trump called off of a trip to Marne American Cemetery and Memorial on Saturday after a bad weather call grounded Marine One. He and First Lady Melania Trump had planned to visit the memorial for American Marines near the Belleau Wood battlefield on Saturday afternoon. However, their program was nixed at the last minute due to a storm that would have prevented them from helicoptering to the site that's more than an hour's drive from Paris. The President and First Lady's trip to Marne American Cemetery and Memorial has been cancelled due to scheduling and logistical difficulties caused by the weather, the White House said. An American delegation led by Chief of Staff General John Kelly and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff General Joe Dunford will attend on their behalf. The site honors United States Army's 2nd Division and an attack it led on the Germans on June 6, 1918 that liberated the Boerisches. The skirmishes ended 20 days later on June 26. According to the American Battle Monuments Commission, 8,100 soldiers died in the wooded area near Belleau, France that month. Trump came under immediate scrutiny for skipping the trip and was compared to Canada's Justin Trudeau, who last year visited monuments in France under a steady downpour. President Donald Trump has come under a barrage of criticism, with everyone from California-based celebrities to firefighters themselves aghast at the insensitivity and ill-timed nature of a tweet sent by the president in the early hours of Saturday morning. In a 2 a.m. tweet, with shocking disregard for people or property, Trump wrote, "There is no reason for these massive, deadly, and costly forest fires in California except that forest management is so poor. Billions of dollars are given each year, with so many lives lost, all because of gross mismanagement of the forests. Remedy now, or no more Fed payments." One of those who was first to respond, Katy Perry, slammed Trump for his ill-judged and out-of-touch remarks. "This is an absolutely heartless response," she said in the Saturday tweet. "There aren't even politics involved. Just good American families losing their homes as you tweet, evacuating into shelters." Perry's was among the first of many celebrities and politicians to take the president to task over his seemingly misjudged remarks. Joining Katy Perry, Ava DuVernay, Don Cheadle, Sarah Silverman, Andy Lasner, Kathy Griffin, Zach Braff, Bette Midler, Alyssa Milano, Maria Shriver and Billy Eichner were among other celebrities who chastised the president for his ill-judged tweet. "Honestly thought this one was from a parody account," Braff wrote, not holding back his disbelief. "The city is on fire and people and animals are dying." American actor and producer Billy Eichner said that Trump's tweet goes over the line. "I really try to ignore his tweets," he wrote, "but this goes over the line. We know he's a cruel and heartless man, but he's also the definition of a coward. Afraid of vulnerability, of sensitivity, of compassion, of sympathy and of course the truth." Actress Alyssa Milano didn't hold back with her disdain. "People lost everything. 250,000 people are displaced, their beloved pets lost. And firefighters are risking their lives. And this is all you got? This is it from you? Shame. Shame. Shame." NBC News reporter Maria Shriver attempted to take the president to task over his remarks. "As fires burn, as families and lives are upended, the last thing we need is the president criticizing our state. Just get us the help we need. Do it now." Singer John Legend had some choice words for the commander-in-chief. "Our national embarrassment can't bring himself to show some empathy to Californians dealing with a horrific disaster." Even porn star Stormy Daniels was ready to attack Mr. Trump's response. "Did the president literally take the sight of a natural disaster over Americans losing their lives and homes today? Yes. Yes, he did," she tweeted. Firefighters also chimed in with their criticism of the president, with one leading California fire official on Saturday called Trump's comments a shameful attack on California. The president's assertion that California's forest management policies are to blame for catastrophic wildfire is dangerously wrong, California Professional Firefighters President Brian K. Rice said in a statement on Saturday. "Wildfires are sparked and spread not only in forested areas but in populated areas and open fields fueled by parched vegetation, high winds, low humidity and geography," he continued in the statement. Moreover, nearly 60% of California forests are under federal management and another two-thirds under private control. It is the federal government that has chosen to divert resources away from forest management, not California. Actor and director Don Cheadle's response was direct. "You suck at this," he wrote. Alex Baldwin's daughter, Ireland, noted that Trump somehow manages to take sides with the fire. Actress Aparna Nancherla took a more comedic view of the whole episode, stating, "I guess Trump saw the fires on TV and was like, hot mess, recognize hot messes." Actor George Takei thought back to when the president was criticized for throwing out paper towels when he went to visit hurricane victims in Puerto Rico in 2017, waiting for Trump to come to California and start tossing out fire extinguishers to the crowd, he joked. Singer Barbra Streisand, meanwhile, stuck to the facts, which made for awkward reading. In a terrible urban fire in Los Angeles, Trump shows his ignorance and lack of empathy by blaming forest management. Fire officials immediately have to correct him. If only we had a leader capable of grasping what the events in California mean and guiding us to solve them. Mass shooting, the wildfires that have consumed 100,000 acres. The pumpkin has flown away from his defeat at the polls to eat foie gras and throw wreaths at the dead. On the political side of things, California Congressman Adam Schiff tried to reassure residents that the state of California would help inhabitants recover. "I don't expect anything better from Trump, but this threat, issued as people are literally fleeing for their lives, cannot go unanswered. For those of you in the path of the fires or who have lost loved ones or your homes, we will be there for you. Even if our president is not," Schiff wrote. Film director Ava Marie DuVernay declared Trump to be demented in her tweet, while comedian Kathy Griffin called the president an incompetent piece of criminal. On Friday evening, Trump issued an emergency declaration providing federal funds to help the thousands of firefighters struggling to contain the flames that have already torched nearly 75,000 acres in Southern California since igniting on Thursday afternoon. A total of 25 bodies have now been found in Northern California after Camp Fire tore through Paradise. The Camp Fire is already the most destructive fire in the state's history, after destroying at least 6,713 buildings, the vast majority of them homes. In Southern California, the Hill and Woolsey fires have already scorched more than 40,000 acres, forcing more than 250,000 residents near Ventura and Los Angeles counties to evacuate. The Camp and Hill fire are at around 25% containment, while the Woolsey fire remains at 5% as of Sunday morning.